Good evening. My name is Tony Antone. I'm here to talk about my workman's comp case and all the problems that I've been having with it. For example, this is my 4th year of fighting my case. It took me 2 years to have my very first hearing. By law, I'm guaranteed to have my first hearing within 90 days, no exceptions. So already we've got 2 years waiting for my first hearing. That's a big problem right there. And I was homeless at certain times during that 2-year waiting period, as I was not allowed to return to work. I had some other problems where on the first hearing that I lost, they said that I lost because they said that I said that there was 3 forms in there that had amended dates on them, and they said that I lost because they weren't in the file. In fact, they were in the file. I walked straight to the file. I found them within 5 minutes, and they were date stamped 13 months prior to the hearing. And they said I lost because they weren't in the file. They were there the whole time. Now, another doctor, Dr. Sussman, said I didn't show up for an IME. In fact, I showed up for the IME. By law, you have 7 days to report that I didn't show up for the IME. Instead, they wait for several months for the hearing to come up, and they canceled my hearing. I didn't even get a whole sentence out of my mouth to defend myself. They canceled my hearing. They waited for 10 months for another hearing to come up. That's more time of me being homeless and on the streets and sick all the time from the lousy weather. By law, you have 7 days to report to the director that I didn't show up for the hearing. After that, it's too late after 7 days. Not only that, whoever calls for the hearing, if there's a dispute of any kind, their burden of proof goes to the person who called for the hearing. They called for the hearing. It's up to them to prove that I didn't go, not to me to prove that I did go. Finally, after about 2 years of this one, he finally says that, in fact, I did show up, but he thought it was for a back-to-work order. Now, if you're being invited to come to a hearing, and you're invited as a witness to go against me for an IME, well, then I guess I'm showing up for an IME, not for a back-to-work order. If you write 2 nasty letters about me saying, in fact, I didn't show up for the IME, well, then I guess I'm there for the IME, not for a back-to-work order. So. And this gentleman also has 2 forms for me to fill out if, in fact, I lose the case. By law, the employer pays for the independent medical examination, even if I lose the case. So he's double or triple dipping. He's a fraudulent person at some point in time. At another hearing, they ruled that they're recognizing Dr. Tan's reports from that time forward. At the next hearing after that, for some reason, they recognized some other doctor, Dr. Galindo. And Dr. Galindo says that there's no permanent disability. Now, Dr. Galindo he never examined my feet or my legs. He sent me on to the specialist. And his specialist said that there is permanent damage and that the bones in my feet are so badly misaligned forever that my knees always hyperextend. In fact, every day my knees hyperextend, I'd say 5 to 6 times a day on each side at least. So why are they recognizing this doctor's report after they promised to only recognize Dr. Tan's report from that day forward? Dr. Tan also says that there's permanent disability. Not only that, when he wrote the report, Dr. Galindo wrote his report saying that there was no permanent damage. He did this a whole year after last seeing me. So why would he come up with this report, and who put him up to it, furthermore, to come out and say that there's no permanent damage when in fact there is? After a whole year of not seeing me at all? And not only that, he never examined my feet or my legs. And the person that he sent me on to, the specialist, did in fact say that there was permanent damage. So there's a lot of corruption going on here. At one point in time, Judge Tom, who's the appeals board chairman, the judge, he pulled me to the side one day last year, 2007, and told me, someday I'm going to pull you over to the side after it's all over, and we're going to have a big laugh together. I'm going to explain to you why all this is happening to you. I said, well, I'm not laughing now. I don't think I'm going to be laughing then either. He told me that, finally, I got him to tell this to me, and I had my tape recorder in my shirt pocket going at that time. He told me that, do you remember that I told you a few months ago that they feel they don't have to pay because they're good friends with Governor Linda Lingle? He goes, that's what this is all about. That's why it's taking so long. That's why you're being tripped up and slowed down all the time. Now, as far as I know, this is very illegal. This is coming from Nelson Higa, who's the deputy district attorney who handles the labor caseloads for the director of for the attorney general. Sorry, and his cohort in all this is David Gerlach. So they're trying to. So I guess they're trying to use the influence of their friendship, of the owner's friendship with Linda Lingo, to slow me down and not pay me my benefits. I've got it right here on tape. If everybody wants to help me sue the state or help me with my case, it would be nice if the authorities would get involved and go after these people and find out just what the heck is going on. You know, you're not. I read the rule book for the rules of engagement for attorneys and for judges, and at no point in time are you ever allowed to make a judgment based on a political affiliation. In fact, it's a felony and it's a crime. There's been other numerous inconsistencies in my case, which I'll go over at a later time when I have a half-hour program, and then I'll be using what's called an ELMO, and all the paperwork will be all highlighted to show all of their legal wranglings and the abuse of power that they're using to slow me down and prevent me from getting my benefits. Not only that, Hawaii healthcare professionals and writers at the time when I got my injury, working for both companies, they weren't really legal. You need a nurse on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Either of those companies never had that when I was there. And one company, Hawaii healthcare professionals, they didn't even have nursing diagnosis. So when you show up, you don't even know how to take care of the poor patient. So that's about it for now. You may contact me at the number below the screen here, and then maybe someone can help me out. Thanks. How was that?